Hello, everybody. This is your boy P. I done had a very long day, but wanted to do a quick video for you guys. Today was a big news event. Wasn't able to watch my charts the whole time because had to help my daughter with something. But by the way, I showed y'all this real quick because Popeye's apple pies are the best. Oh my God. But let me talk to you guys about trading news events, okay? Because today was a huge news event day. You had the FOMC or the Feds were talking today. And then you also had Brexit news today. You had the NZD come out with their GDP, which stands for gross domestic products. That just came out. You also have tomorrow, and if you are watching this video, you'll know what I'm talking about. I forgot what today it is. My God, I'm tired. I am tired, y'all. But tomorrow is a lot of GBP news that's coming out. So you got to be careful of that tomorrow. It's tons of GBP news coming out on the pound. And then also you have the Aussie coming out with a little bit more news as well coming out. So there's tons of news. So my opinion when it comes to trading news events is this. And okay, I'm gonna keep it real simple for you. All right. My opinion about trading news events is simply this. I look at my charts and I look at my system, and typically it's right. Okay, but I always know that news events cannot be controlled by anybody. A lot of people's opinion is that a lot of news events are baked in, which they are in many situations. Many times it is. It really is. Sometimes it's not. Get what I'm saying? Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. Here's the point. Nobody, as far as I personally know on our level of trading, meaning a retail trader. Now, insiders and big corporations, they pretty much have access to information many times that we retail traders don't have available to us. So therefore, my point is that oftentimes, because we don't know exactly what's going to happen, the best you can do is to trade with a nice strategy in mind. Okay, watch this. So what do I mean by strategy? There's three different types of strategies you can have. And again, I'm giving just free information. I just like talking to my traders in the world, even though I ain't got a whole lot of people just yet, but eventually we will. That's not that big of a deal to me. I just like talking and sharing ideas, okay? Because we all trade, whether you're in my group or in somebody else's, it doesn't matter. If you're trying to look for Forex, you're just looking for information. So I just want to share some ideas with you, okay? So check this out. Here's my idea about trading it. My idea is this. You have three options available when trading news events, okay? And I'll start from the worst option, and it's not really worse, but you get my point. I'll start with the most riskiest. That's a better way of saying it. I'll start with the riskiest to the least riskiest, okay? So here it is. Yeah, we do accept Bitcoin. Yes, we do, Giovanni, because I do have a lot of people from Nigeria and other countries where PayPal is not accepted, but yeah, we do accept Bitcoin. Also, and I'm sorry, you guys, I'm sidetracked. Somebody had asked me a question in here. You know, you don't have to have a PayPal account. What happens is when you go to PayPal, there's actually, if you look up underneath, there's actually, you can sign in as a guest. And at that point, you can just use any card you want. But just answering your question, Giovanni, but let me get back to these people because I want to help them. So here's the first option, which is for me in some situations. So I was trading the USD Swiss, and I had that trade ever since, what, 2 weeks ago, just chilling, just holding out on it. And boom, news hit, that thing dropped like a freaking rock. And I had some nice lumpy positions upon that bad boy. So I'm very happy with that position. Okay. However, other positions that I had, they didn't work out so well. No big deal. Here's the reason why. I say it's not a big deal. One of the things I'm always teaching my team, and whether you're on my team or not, this will be helpful to you. If you have the balls to trade during an event of such magnitude, such as interest rate news, GDP news, or Brexit news, those are the main ones I look for. There are others, but that's the ones I look for that kind of concerns me the most, right? So here's the deal. I always want to tell my team, don't ever trade something that if you lose, you're going to be pissed about. Are you guys hearing what I'm saying? If you're going to be pissed about it, then don't trade it. So for me, what I actually do is I only will trade an amount that even if I risk it, I may feel a little pinch or slap on the wrist, but it's not blowing my entire account. Some people are trying to time the market and time the news, and so they're putting their entire account on the line, hoping to catch a big spike move. And the problem is that oftentimes you catch a spike move in the wrong direction and your entire account is gone. So now you're not a trader or an investor, you're just a gambler. Or you understand what I'm saying? That's not a smart idea. So for me, if I do decide to take trades, I'm going to take trades using an amount that ain't going to hurt my feelings and have me cussing out my wife and kicking the dog or whatever else. I don't have a dog, but y'all get my point. Okay? So only risk an amount that you're comfortable with losing. And I don't care whether you're using my system or anybody else's. And those in my group, you know, we pip out all week long. Every single week we making good pips. So for me, I'm not really tripping because guess what? We make so many pips per week until losing a few is not that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to go heavy, or let me use the term I use. I ain't going hard in the paint on no trade right before a big news event. I'm just not doing it. Here's the deal. It could work out to where, yeah, I can just hit like a slot machine, right? And that's where, remember I taught you guys in the prior video, when I went to school for trading in the stock market to learn stocks and options, I spent a boatload of money. The only two things I walked away from out of spending all that money, and I know how to trade them, I just don't like it, okay? I like Forex better. But the two things that I walked away from that just was hammered in my mind is the entire market is ruled by greed and fear. I'm always looking at myself, the camera right here. The market is ruled by greed and fear. And here's how you can test your steel, or you test your emotions. When you set that trade and you know that it's risky, the first thing or you tell yourself is one of two things. Man, if this thing goes up in my direction, woo, I'm gonna make a lot of money. What part of you is talking? That's the greed side. What you have to learn is stop letting the greed side talk so much. There has to have a balanced ideology in your head when it comes to trading. Here's what I mean. It's okay for you to say, man, if this thing goes up in my favor, man, I'm gonna hit, man, this is gonna be good. Fine. However, on the flip side though, you also have to tell yourself, man, but if this thing goes wrong, man, hold on now, hold on, okay? So you got to tell yourself both sides of the story because both sides are true. Some people think that there's a magic bullet a bit against the market to where every trade you get into is going to be a winner. Listen, we win on average between about, I say, and my team, you can, they sometimes dialogue in here when I'm doing these videos, so you can ask them yourself. I ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. That's one thing. I'm done with that. I ain't got time to be proving nothing. But realistically, we average about anywhere from about 80, 85 to every, you know what I'm saying? But one of the things we don't do is we don't really trade a lot of news events. Like I send out signals to the group. I didn't send a whole lot this week. I don't care. And I know we have brand new people who was like, where's the signals? Listen, I'm not doing it because I'm not going to put weeks and weeks and weeks of growth in our account on the line because of some silly news event that's supposed to be popping up. You're ruled in the arena of finance. You keep blowing your freaking, I'm not going to over leverage. By Tuesday, your account is blown. It's not that you are necessarily a bad trader. It's just the fact that you have no margin of room for error, just in case the thing spikes against you temporarily and then drops in your favor. Some of that time, that's what happened to some of you guys. You jump in these trades, which again, and this is just me personally, I have nothing against short-term traders, do your thing. But for the way I teach my team how to place trades and their stop losses, we're clear from that stuff because oftentimes what happens with news events, the direction of the trend that we predicted was right. But when a news event happens, it spikes up, reaches almost to a peak, and then wipes out all the other traders on the lower frames, and then it comes right back down, and boom, you could have made a whole lot of money after that little, what they call knee-jerk reaction in the market. Because news come out, knee-jerk reaction happens, and then it just slowly comes back down and it resumes its pattern. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't get into the fact of, okay, well, how much can I make? How much can I, without asking myself, Pat, how much can you also lose? See, I try to keep a balanced perspective because I don't want to blow my account and keep depositing money. I'm supposed to be withdrawing money. Oh, y'all feel? So Some of you guys, you've been depositing money like it's nothing, like it's a coin machine. Listen, when are you going to realize you have to control yourself? It's you that's the problem sometimes, because what you're doing is, like, for an example, here's a big mistake I see all the time in brand new people in my team. Listen, I love y'all, but I'm gonna check you every single time. See, don't ask me the wrong question, because I'm gonna check you, because you know what I teach. And this is why the team is so successful, because they finally got it. When we first launched this program, I had a lot of brand new people who did not get the concept because they were taught wrong. So they were taught all these other little method things that they were taught. And I'm not going to go into them because I'm not trying to offend anybody or any groups or any other people. Do your thing, whatever. But for us, one of the things I had to teach them, listen, dog, stop trying to compromise your stop loss to increase your lot size. That's wrong. That means you are not balancing your greed versus your fear in the market. You have to have a perfect balance of mind, because here's the thing. You sitting up there, well, what I'll do, I'll put a tighter stop loss, but I'm gonna double my position. Huh? That don't make no sense. No, because what you're doing is I'm doubling my risk and increasing my chance of the stop loss getting hit. And you wonder why you're blowing your account every week. You can't do that. You have to be patient with yourself. Let your account grow. Listen, I'm not going to compromise my stop loss just so I can have a bigger position. If my position cannot accommodate the stop loss to protect my account, then guess what? I need to shrink the lot size and not compromise my stop loss, because at that point, I'm being greedy. And therefore, every time you've been greedy, ask yourself the question. You don't have to challenge me on it. Ask yourself the question, how many times have you been greedy and blew your account? So then when are you going to stop doing that? Do you get what I'm saying? So when it comes to news events, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. What I do is I risk a small amount, put my stop loss where I know it's highly protected, and you'll learn that if you do decide to join us, you'll know exactly where we put our stop loss. It's very easy. No guessing at all. And so therefore, yeah, news events happen. We hit the spikes, but they tend to not hit our stop loss, and then they resume, and then it drops, and then we make our money, okay? But the point is this, you guys. That's the first one. So let me quickly kind of summarize this, all right? Because I'm just sitting in traffic. I just like talking. So anyway, the first one is, yes, go ahead and trade the news event, but don't over leverage your account, and don't compromise on a tight stop loss when you're about to hit a news event that has big spikes in it. That's stupid. If it has big spikes in the market, for an example, and I say this one as an example, the NFP, I don't even like trading that one at all, because what NFP tends to do, like the Fed news today, it came and shot out in one direction. But NFP is notorious for spiking in both directions. So if you have a tight stop loss, no matter which way it goes, they're going to typically hit you. You feel what I'm saying? So therefore, don't compromise your stop loss and use a smaller position. Number two, here's the other way you can trade. You can actually wait until the news event is over and then hop into the market to see what it can do and whether it resumes its pattern. Because some news events, do you think there's going to be a big one and it just fizzes out? They just postpone it, okay? You can do that. That's fine. But here's the third option. The third option is simple. Why don't you just don't trade at all? Because here's the deal. Nobody tells you, nobody's forcing you to click those buttons. Have you ever figured that out? You know, one thing about traders, immature traders, they never like to take responsibility for their own action. They're always blaming the system. They're always blaming somebody. It's never their fault, when in truth, nobody told you to click that button. You clicked the button to enter the market. You clicked the lot size. You clicked the stop loss. You did it. You did. So it doesn't matter who else decided to trade in that market during those news events. You don't have to do it if you know your account can't handle it. Or here's the deal. Maybe your account can handle it, but your emotions can't. So if you're a person who's highly emotional and you're not able to settle your emotions because, well, this is just too risky. If you're telling yourself it's too risky, then it actually is. Not because of the trade itself, but because that's the way you feel about it. And if that's the way you feel about it, there is no right or wrong. Just don't trade it. Wait until the news events are over. Wait for calmer waters and take your trade. One last thing, and I'll be done. You have to make sure, and this is a big flaw that I was not really taught a whole lot, and I had to learn the hard way, and some of you guys are going through this now, okay? And this is not, like I said, I don't care whether you're in my group or not, I'm just talking to you, I'm helping you out, okay? one of the things you must absolutely learn to do is to check the news calendar before you place a trade. You must learn to do that, because sometimes you have a perfect setup on your charts. And I see this all the time, like, what the freaking heck? And I'm using a kind word, right? But people will be cussing and mad. What the freaking heck, man? What the... And I'll be like, well, didn't you see this news event was coming out? You understand what I'm saying? Did you check the news? It clearly said that there was a big news event coming out. Did you check for a red envelope? And before you ask, with the one that I use, one of them that I use, which is my main staple on my cell phone, the app I use is My FX Book. My FX Book is the one that I use to check for news events. And what's so nice about it is because it actually gives you the option to check a week in advance, so you'll know for the whole week what's going on. And I look for red and yellow envelopes. Majority of the time, like I said, I look for interest rate news. I look for Brexit news and NFP news. Now, GDP, sometimes, you know, gross domestic products, sometimes yes, sometimes no, because realistically, sometimes it's big, sometimes it ain't. It just depends. But like today, full of big news. You had the Feds talking. You had Brexit today. You had the GDP on the NZD. Then you have other news, big news on the GBP tomorrow. And this is, and I'm sorry I don't have today's date in front of me. Maybe somebody can timestamp. Well, y'all, the day this stamps, it'll be in there, so you can check it for yourself. All right. So anyway, I'm just sharing love with y'all. You know what I mean? It's nothing, you know, you don't have to watch my videos. It's not that big of a deal. I'm not trying to get the 30,000. Well, it'd be nice if I do, but the point is I just like to talk and share ideas with other traders around the world, whether you're in my group or not, because guess what? I just want to help you think differently, because a lot of this stuff and these ideas, I wish somebody would have just talked to me on camera, where I can just, hey, this dude is on camera, you know, let me holler, let me look, let me see what he's talking about, because, you know, some of the pitfalls that he's talking about, which is what I'm talking to you guys about, is avoiding pitfalls. You know, a lot of people talk to you about how to use indicators, how to use this strategy, how to use that strategy, but very few people are just saying, hey, let me just talk to you, man. You know, here's a pitfall that you might want to avoid. I don't get a lot of videos. I don't see a lot of videos like that. So I'm just trying to fill in a need where I know there is one, where people just need to know, regardless of whether you join Superezforex or not, hey, here's some pitfalls as a fellow trader that you need to know. When it comes to news events, hey, trade lightly, trade after the news event, or just don't trade at all. That's what this boils down to, okay? Just so simple, 3. Light, after, or not at all. And last but not least, whether you win or lose, here's one thing, and I'm sending a shout out to these people. Popeyes apple pies. Oh my God, them things are delicious. So anyway, you guys have a great evening. I love you guys. Make sure to spend time with your families, and that's another thing, and I'll need to do a whole video on that. Traders, please, I beg you, please get away from them charts sometimes, and don't neglect your family for chart time. If your chart methodology is having you spend 24/7 on them charts, and you're married to the charts and you're divorced, you don't even know it, you don't even see this happen, I really need to do a separate video on this one for real. I'm gonna remind myself, I'm gonna do a whole one on this one, but bottom line is I'll leave it alone for now. Look, go spend time with your family, okay? Spend time with your family. Do a video on this one. Probably won't get a whole lot of views because people don't care about this, but they don't realize how important this part of it is until they lost their family. And I see this stuff all the time in this markets and in business, period. Okay, so I'll do a video on family life and Forex trading. All right, have a good night, everybody. Bye. Thank you for watching.